Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Misscliks D&D Devotion. So, you guys open the doors into the cruise section. Done fun. And there are a whole bunch of people in various bunks. They all seem to be asleep. There's one person passed out on the floor as if they fell out of their bunk, or maybe were walking around when they finally fell asleep, or maybe they just curled up on the floor and fell asleep there. Yeah, there looks to be about 8 people in this room.
Gee, guys, I tell as I see him. I asked if anyone needed help. Least you could have done was respond.
There's some chuckling from the people your sailors that have come down into the hold.
Anyways, good news. We're here to rescue you. Seems like your ship's taking on a bit of water. I tell the crowd helpfully.
They all continue their seeming state of unconsciousness.
Well then, I'll let you rest up then. Tess, anything you want to do with this room, or shall we leave them sleeping?
Is there anything we noticed different about this room? Any drink, food nearby? Any something?
Yeah, there's some plates of food and some tankards lying around. Some of them even have some fluids left in them. It looks like some of them have beer, some of them have water.
Okay, so it's fairly recent then.
Yeah, well, the food looks pretty old. There's not much in the way of things growing on it, but it is out at sea. The salt air is maybe keeping it a little, it's not molding, but it's definitely been there a while. Like, there's a side of beans, but they're all dried and cracked, like they've been sitting there for days.
I pick one up. Could I tell if would I be able to smell poison?
Some poisons leave a strong scent, but you would need a toxicology proficiency to be able to detect something like that.
Okay. I point out the food. That food is old. I don't think they've been awake for days. I think same with the female in the other room. I think something is seriously wrong on the ship. Either a curse or some kind of sleeping spell, or I cast detect magic.
Oh, very smart, Tess.
You cast detect magic, and sure enough, each person in this room radiates a faint magical aura.
But I can't tell what it is.
You have a 10% chance per level of detecting it. You are level 5?
Yes.
No, you cannot detect what it is, unfortunately.
So I had a 50% chance.
Yeah.
Okay. Lame.
But it's the sort of it's the sort of aura that you would find on something that has been enchanted, or it's not like these. It's the sort of thing that you might find on a person who's had a spell cast on them.
That's exactly what I thought. They have spells casted over them. Something has happened. There must be a witch or something, or a sorcerer, or some sort of magic used on the ship.
Or, alternatively, well, yes, that's probably the case. I wonder why they would have done this, though. Why not just sleep all of them, take all the treasures, and then escape? Well, we'll probably find the answers in the other rooms. I kind of look around real fast. Anything valuable in these crew quarters?
You can start searching through their personal belongings, but that means opening up all these different lockers and going through all of their pockets. It's a fairly lengthy process that other people would notice you doing. There's nothing readily apparent that's valuable, except for a small collection of copper coins stacked up on a table near some more hearth gnome cards.
Yeah. Well, at least they play Hearth gnome. They're good people then.
Alright, we keep going and searching the other rooms then.
Okay. You find the kitchen, and it looks like they have been unattended. Like there was a fire that sort of spilled out of the kitchen and onto the ground, but didn't catch the ship on fire. It looks like there was a pot that was on the stove at the time, that boiled away, or whatever was in it dried out, because there's nothing in it now except for like the thick, crusty stuff on the ground, or on the bottom of the pot. There is what looks to be maybe the cook or someone that was in the kitchen that is unconscious on the ground, just kind of splayed out. When you go downstairs into the very bottom of the most bottom layer, it's only a half deck. You kind of have to crouch to move around, and sure enough, the ship has taken on water. Not a lot of water because it hasn't sunk yet, but enough that it is kind of cockeyed.
Okay, assuming that's all of interest. Did you say someone? Did you say? I think I missed the description. Was there someone unconscious? Or?
There was an unconscious person in the kitchen.
Yeah, the cook.
Probably the cook. You know, who else would be unconscious in the kitchen but the cook?
True.
I'll point my glaive at it since I'm suspecting. I'm paranoid that the witch is trying to hide. Check him for pulse, would you, Cass?
I check his pulse on his wrist.
It's there. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
All right.
I think they're all technically still alive, but they're under some sort of sleeping spell. Perhaps the food was enchanted, or them themselves. Is there any fridge or anything in here?
There's no fridge. Refrigeration has not been invented yet.
I mean, is there like a cool storage?
No, there's no way to store things coolly on ships.
Okay. Is there any food that's not like gone bad?
Yeah, there's a lot of salted
convenient.
food and that sort of thing. Salted meats, dried fruits, nuts. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's nothing more of interest here, so I keep looking. Like, go on to the next spot.
Yep, we'll go on to another room.
Okay. Well, you've checked the whole ship. The only thing that really seems to be here is the big carriage and the dead horses, which look like they're in makeshift corrals, and then the 8, now 9 crew members plus the woman in the top deck.
Oh, I didn't realize. So going down was where the kitchen was?
Yes, the kitchen was on the bottom level, or the middle level, where the crew members were and the storage was.
Okay,
The
so
very,
we have
very-
now been on the entire ship.
Yeah, and the very, very bottom deck is a half deck, and it looks like there's some storage of stuff back there, lots of barrels with things and markings on it, and a bunch of water now that they've taken on.
Check all the barrels.
You check the barrels down there, and it looks like most of them are cracked open. Maybe they all used to hold water, and that's where the water down here came from? Because they're all cracked open and emptied out with nothing in them anymore. And the ship isn't sinking, so it's probably not a breach in the hull.
I look for like hidden crawl spaces. I check the walls. I
Give me
start picking out things.
Give me a perception check to see if you can find any hidden crawl spaces.
And is detect magic still active?
Ooh, you cannot find any hidden crawl spaces. It lasts for a number of rounds equal to her level, so 5 minutes. She detected magic once in that one room. That takes a minute to scan the room, check it on all the people.
So is there any magic in here in the kitchen?
No,
on the girl?
there's the same sort of aura on the person that's unconscious in this room. No other
nothing
magic.
on the barrels, nothing anywhere else.
Nope. Down in the crawl space, the half deck below, there's no magical signs of any kind. The carriage area is also devoid of magic.
Ransom, would you help me check this area to see if there's anything hidden?
Sure. Anything you're looking for in particular?
Like hidden crawl spaces, hidden doors, anything. This doesn't make any sense.
So I take a look at it. I kind of make the assumption that the barrels were full of liquids and then they were dumped out, and then the liquid pulled up into a corner. Does anything look out of place with that assumption?
No, that seems to make a lot of sense. But it's not poured out; it's broken out. The barrels look like they've been opened by force.
Hmm. Are there any boxes around too? Since this is kind of a
Not on
small-
the bottom half deck, but in the main cargo hold, there are crates and boxes of various things. The other crew members have started to pry them open and go through the personal possessions of the people on the ship when the captain of the ship that you come from has come over. And
Well, I talked to the captain here. Wait a second. Why is the crew opening up these people's belongings?
guys, what are you doing? The ship is still technically someone's property. Put that stuff away. Put it back. Close those crates. Not how we run things on my ship.
All right. Well, here's my assessment of the situation. It looks like these people have been the victim of some spell which is causing them to fall into deep slumber.
Looks at you with some concern and starts looking around the place. Says, well, we can't very well leave them like this.
Wait, if Ransom helped me look around, does he need to do a perception check as well?
Because you were searching the area. We never got that. Yeah, you rolled a 17 on your searching for hidden doors and stuff.
I did.
Yeah, you don't find any hidden passageways. Ransom can make his own if he wants to spend a few, like 10 or 20 minutes searching the ship for secret ways.
No, I'll pass.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure what kind of terrible person or persons would come on the ship and bewitch the whole crew. I wonder if they had to only cast one spell or if they cast 3 on the separate groups. And I wonder why they also left all the valuables around.
Is there any
Any?
is there any paperwork, anything at all? Like I keep searching. I just vigorously look through everything and I keep searching the ship completely.
In the kitchen, you do find a storage manifesto that seems to list the supplies that they took on at their last port of call, which was a week ago that they last resupplied, judging
And
by
what
the
was
dates.
the port?
The port was, what is that place called? Shelton.
Is
Which
my
is-
intelligence any good on knowing where Shelton is?
It's a foreign town. Why don't you both make me intelligence checks at like -3 to see if either of you have ever heard of or can remember where this place might be. No, you've never heard of it. Ransom, you've heard of Shelton before. It's one of the free states. It exists just, northwest of the Elven Kingdom. And if we were to be looking at the map, it's this town over here that I have just brought you to.
Ah, Cass, you should know this one. It's right next to your homeland.
Oh.
Kind of gauge where we are compared to Shelton. About how many days away is it?
You guys are by the sea. You're going 70 and then 60 and then 80. So 70, 60, and 80 away. So you're like 210 miles. So you're probably 3 or 4 days away.
Well, this helps a lot in pinpointing when this calamity befell this ship. So we can pinpoint it at about 4 days ago.
Hmm. That's really weird, and too coincidental that it's so close to my hometown. Hmm.
I guess the only thing we can do now is try to wake one of the people here. Maybe we just haven't been shaking them hard enough. I go to the cook,
Hmm.
and
Do we have
um,
any water or anything? Like, actually, we probably have some on our like bodies, right?
You
Some kind of.
could have water on you. There is a barrel of water in the kitchen that has been left open, like the lid's taken off and set to the side as if someone was using it, or maybe they're just lazy and never shut it again. But there is an open barrel of water.
Is there anything? There was nothing enchanted about it, though, right?
Correct.
Okay, I take a little bowl of that and I bring it to the cook, and then I like try to get it something in his mouth.
Okay. You leak some in, and at a certain point, you get a little bit too much in. He starts coughing and choking it up, but he does not regain consciousness. You can continue to drip feed him water so he doesn't dehydrate and die.
I do that, and then I command the rest of the crew to start doing that for the other people as well.
Okay. The captain has also ordered the crew to bring these people on board his ship, and they're just going to take them to the next port and dump them to be someone else's problem. But he's not going to leave them here to die on their own.
Great.
While those people are doing that, he comes over to talk to the two of you and goes, "So, this isn't quite the trap I was expecting, but there's something weird going on here, and I don't like it."
There's definitely something going on. I've detected that there's magic involved, but I don't know what.
sometimes these spells they can be broken out of if you apply enough force. You may not want to watch this. I kind of
He puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Don't kill anyone."
no, of course not. I've noticed the shaking that I casted earlier, so I'm just going to punch the guy enough to do damage.
You bludgeon the cook to do some sort of damage, and you break his nose a little bit. Just kind of crack the cartilage to the side, and his nose starts bleeding, but he doesn't wake up.
Well, there goes my theory. Sorry about that.
I look at Ransom. Good job. And I snicker.
I was trying to save his life. Well, it seems like that's the best we can do for these people then.
I suppose.
This doesn't make any sense. There has to be something on this ship.
Well,
It could be someone landed on the ship, conducted some mischief, and then left the ship.
I didn't see a ledger or any sort of paperwork up in the captain's quarters. One of you didn't happen to swipe that, did you? I'd understand if you did.
No, I
There was
actually noticed the
nothing.
same
There's only this. And then I hand him the manifest for the food.
thing.
Takes a look at it. Sets it back down on the table. Interesting.
Maybe the ship was carrying someone really important, and then they were kidnapped.
That could be the case, but they wouldn't have left everybody unharmed, I don't think.
A very fancy carriage on board here. And the captain's quarters look pretty fancy themselves. And presumably that captain looks like she's seen a fight or two. This reeks of piracy to me.
Well, they were very nice pirates then, not to kill everyone.
I
Furthermore-
think they are pirates.
Oh, these people are pirates. Ah, then they got what they deserved.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Is there anything about the carriage that we would notice, like that would tell us where it's from?
Yeah, so you start digging around, rooting around in the carriage. Let's see, you find underneath one of the seats inside, it flips up, and there is a rolled up scroll in there that is sealed with a seal, or
Okay.
shut with a seal, as well as a bag of 50 gold coins.
I keep the gold, and then
Do you let the captain know that you're stealing this gold?
I just put it away.
Okay.
Nobody's seeing me do this, so.
All right.
And then I undo the scroll.
Okay. You're going to have to break the seal. Once broken, it will always be obvious that that was opened.
That's fine. Break the seal.
You break the seal and unfurl the scroll. It is a salutations. Apparently, this carriage is supposed to be a birthday gift for some noble lord in Akuba. You don't recognize any of the names on it, but it says, to my dearest blah, 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 blah. I hope on your 50th birthday you will appreciate the wonders of this carriage. It was made for, custom made from the finest yada, 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 with the greatest blah, 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 by the wonderful gnome blah, 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 who invented this blah, 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 blah. Has this something, it goes on and on about how great the carriage is. And then just, says happy birthday again at the bottom.
Huh. So this carriage was a birthday gift. But why would somebody, again, do something here, but then the carriage is left here, unharmed?
I kind of look at the carriage. Does it look valuable?
Yeah, it's a fancy carriage. If sold on the open market, you could probably fetch 1,000 gold pieces for it.
Well, shall we tell the captain about the purpose of this ship then?
Yes, we can tell him.
Captain, we found out what the ship was meant to do. It was meant to transport this carriage over to Akuba.
Do you show him the scroll itself, or you just tell him?
We'll show him the scroll. We had to break open the seal, but it was to figure out what this was.
He doesn't seem too worried about you breaking the seal. He reads through the scroll and hands it back to you guys and gives a solemn nod and goes, well, that is most interesting. It's a shame that we can't transport the carriage from this ship to ours. It's too difficult on the open water, and I don't think we have the manpower to tow this ship behind us. It's going to make a wonderful find for someone who wants to pick it up themselves.
It doesn't look like this ship itself has any damage to it.
So, yeah, does it? Like, it's still...
It's listing to a side, but it looks like that's because of the breakage of the the ballasts, and that have been kind of sloshed off to one side. Because, well, it could be if we drain the bottom deck, we might be able to get it up and running again. But it would take a while, and then we'd have to give up part of our crew, and then we would be crippled making it back to shore. And I'm still not convinced this isn't some sort of trap. I'm not willing to cripple my own crew in a situation like this.
So wait a minute. The blood that was on the surface of the ship, that was dried like... I mean, being close to it now, we should be able to tell how
Yeah, that
old
looks
it
like it old, like it's been set into the wood. Definitely longer than 4 or 5 days. That's like an old mark.
I feel like we're missing something. Right? I have no idea what it is.
I'm content enough that the ship was simply someone was meddling with the delivery. Someone magical, clearly.
But why and where would this be? Was the ship moving still? Like, is it moving?
No, it's drifting with the currents.
Okay. Was it drifting towards its location? Like that it needed to go to, or not really?
Only in the most general sense.
Okay.
Because it
you
needs to be
the
going all the way around.
Ballast was broken. What does that mean?
That's like the water barrels at the bottom. You would store certain amounts of weight in the ship to keep it at the right height. Those water barrels could have been used for ballast, or they could have been used for drinking water. One or the other. It's hard to tell without actually knowing what was going on in the ship. And those have been burst open, so that now that it's all lopsided. Even if you get the ship even if you were to like pull the ship upright, eventually it would shift to one side once it tilted enough and all the water went to one side or the other. It's likely that it might tip back and forth, but with all the water being free floating,
So the
it's
top
not
of the deck, so the ship itself has no damage other than the barrels, right?
right. And those few sails that are tattered.
Ah. Is this, does it look like the ship is powered by sail solely?
Yes.
About how many people would usually man a ship like this?
You can usually like 8 to 12.
Okay.
You could have a larger crew, but you only really need 8 to 12.
How close are we to the nearest port?
Like 30-something miles.
Okay. I kind of asked the captain, is the nearest port somewhere where we could get some guys to finish the delivery? It would probably be worth your while.
Would I be able to use Nistel's magical aura to find out what says you can specify the type of magical. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Never mind.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's just making it a specific magic.
Yeah, it's
somebody
pretending
else
that
does.
something has a magical aura around
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The captain gives you guys a look and goes, "Well, we're already headed in this one, already headed in our direction. If we turn back now, we're gonna add a couple days to our journey. It's, I say we head forward and leave word and these people at the next port, which should be Yatel. We'll be there in a day or two. A little less than 2 days. Day and a half. We can drop off these not quite corpses and inform them of the ship floating around here and make some salvager's day."
Seems reasonable to me.
I take a little tuft of the horse's hair, and then I tuck it away.
All right, they haul the bodies back onto your ship, detach from the listing one, and set off forward towards Yatel. Now that you guys are alone and away from everyone else, you guys can find some corner of the ship for privacy for a conversation. What do you guys feel about what's going on? What's going through your minds?
I don't know what happened, but I feel so confused by everything, and it bothers me that we didn't figure out what was going on that ship.
Not all mysteries are meant to be solved. We've done the best we can for these people.
That's a pretty big mystery, and a whole ship of people are asleep now.
But these
Never to wake
people
up.
will be saved thanks to this ship passing on, so we can take heart in that.
How will they be saved? Like, they're still not waking up.
Magic wears off eventually.
Not always. A magical spell could wear on them a very long time. I feel like we need to investigate this more. Where the city... I wonder if they... Well, to get all the way out here, I assume it was during their journey, but it makes no sense, and it's mind-boggling to me, and I can't stop thinking about it.
Well, I just pull up my arms around Cass. You know, sometimes it's best not to trouble yourself with the problems that you can't solve. And just know in your heart we've done a good thing in rescuing these people. Someday they'll get the care that they need. Perhaps there's some clerics in this port city that we're going into who are better equipped to deal with that than us.
That is true. I definitely want to consult a magic user while we're there. I don't think I can put this away. I think I want to figure it out.
The journey continues. You guys wake up the next day feeling refreshed and head out on deck where the whole crew seems to be gathered around one of the crew members who is unconscious on the deck.
I run up to the top of the deck and I go over to the guy. Is he breathing?
He's breathing. The whole crew and the captain are gathered around him. You guys must have slept in or something. And everyone is a little spooked. This guy's just unconscious on the deck. Someone tells you that, when you're looking, that he was working with everyone else and kind of just sat down to look at the sky and fell asleep. And then someone kicked him to wake him up. He didn't wake up. And
did he eat anything on the ship? What exactly did he do when he was on the ship? And I look to everybody.
no one knows. I'm not following him about his day. Just sat down for a moment, closed his eyes, and boom.
I immediately check his pockets to see what he's picked up from the ship.
He's got some lint, some coins, I don't know, whatever a sailor would have in their pockets. Nothing unusual, nothing that strikes you as bizarre.
I check his neck. Is there any necklace he put on, rings, anything?
He does have a ring. It's a large copper ring with a thick band. He has a very simple necklace of, oh god, what's that god's name? I can't remember the god's name. He's got a necklace of one of the gods on him. I'm looking it up right now.
When I did detect magic, did anybody glow more than the others?
No, they all had a similar aura about them. Anyway, this person, he's just unconscious right there.
And this stuff that he's wearing, did he have it on before he went to that ship?
This is is it one of those guys? Yes, this is one of the people that went to that other ship. One of the person goes, yeah, this is his normal thing. Wears it all the time, everywhere he goes.
This is very strange.
Well, this is bad news for us. It means we're about to face the same thing as the other ship. So we better figure this out and quick.
Did he drink any of the water that was on that ship?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to him.
Hopefully he's just a dummy, and he did. However, how far are we from the port?
Yeah, you're still a half day or 3/4 of a day.
Well, we are going to want to go to that port. Maybe you could check to see if any of us are magical now, or if this guy is magical.
I go ahead and detect magic again.
You cast detect magic. There is a slight magical aura surrounding this person. No one else, though, has one.
Has any of the other members from the other ship stirred? Anything at all different about them?
Start exchanging looks, and someone runs off to check. The god of the necklace he's got is the god of Quantarius, the god of trade.
Well, it's as I suspected. He also comes up as showing magic, but the good news is none of you do, so you should be okay. But there must be something different. There must be something he did on that ship differently, because he is affected and nobody else is right now. Did anybody notice anything he did? Who's his bunkmate?
Someone raises their hand.
What did he do? Walk me through everything that he did since you know.
He was snoring. Trying to sleep in like usual, so I tipped him out of his hammock when we woke up. Then we grabbed some grog and some grub. He looks to the captain with a bit of embarrassment because he's not supposed to be drinking this early. And then we set to work with our normal duties. And
so he didn't do anything different from you?
No, nothing that I can think of. No.
and none of you notice anything that he did on the ship, now would be the time to say something, even if you fear that it's something that you did wrong.
I saw him take a piss off the side. I saw him go back into his quarters to use a pooping pot.
Did he interact with any of the members of the ship?
The other ship?
Yes.
Head shakes all around. I think so.
Well, I would be careful. I would make sure you stay away from any of those ship members. I hope it's not a contagious spell.
Hey. Why isn't Reggie back yet?
Reggie? What?
Yeah, he went to go see if any of the other crew members had stirred yet. He hasn't come back yet.
Uh-oh.
Well then, one of you better go check on Reggie.
I have a
They all
feeling.
exchange very uncomfortable looks.
Maybe two of you should go together. That way somebody can yell back if something's wrong.
The captain hands one of the guys a belaying pin from the handrail and hands the other one his saber and says, "The two of you, go. Find out what's going on." And they disappear to go inside and check on the
Cool,
others.
my plan was to... Kess and I will follow behind, probably unbeknownst to those two.
Okay.
We'll keep about a 30-foot range. 30, 60 foot? Whatever makes sense for the ship to shadow someone without them noticing.
Right, so whether it's 30 or 60 feet, you're going to be like one deck away from them, around a corner, so they won't be able to see you.
Right.
Right. So you can follow down, and you get to the area where these other people are being held, and peer around the corner carefully, and you see 3 unconscious sailors just lying on the ground in the room where these other people are being held. Like they just walked in and fell asleep. Not just like plopped, like fell over, but they're all kind of curled up, as if they all independently decided to take a nap in the middle of the floor at the same time.
I have detect magic still, so is there magic in the room?
Yeah, this is the last round of your detect magic because you were on the deck for a little while. The 3 of them are clearly affected by some sort of magical aura.
What about the room, though?
The room itself is not.
oozing?
Ooh, hold on. Detect magic can sort of clip through walls. What is it blocked by? You can scan a 60-degree arc per round. There is a much larger or much stronger magical aura emanating from something behind one of the walls, but you can't see what it is because you can only notice it behind through the walls here. There's something in that room.
In that room, okay.
Yeah, it's about person-sized.
There's something going on in there. There's something human-sized that's emanating a serious deal of magic in there.
All right then. You'll want to make sure you keep that detection up then. And then I call it, "Hey, we need one more guy down here."
We might need somebody with a mask so that they don't breathe or smell this magic.
I suspect that, and I'm kind of lowering my voice. I suspect that human-sized object detecting is the perpetrator. Maybe this person will run out of spells. Can't keep casting forever,
And one day, no.
Hey, we need one more guy down here.
All right. You hear some heavy thudding, and the captain himself comes down with basically the entire crew behind him, except for a few that have been left to keep a watch upstairs. You guys are all kind of gathered in one of the... I should bring up a map of your ship.
Hey, I said one guy, not the entire guy.
The captain goes, What's the dealio? What's going on?"
Now, I think we found our trickster. So we just need one of the crewmates. As you can see, you're crewmates are clearly not harmed. We need one of the crewmates to go investigate what happened to those other 3.
And you might want to hold your breath.
But probably not.
A long silence. Captain looks back at everyone and says, "Volunteer? We need a volunteer."
And Kess, keep your eye on that source of magic. You can't have them getting away.
Your detect magic spell is actually running out. It has a limited duration. So it's going to be basically done right now.
You cast it again.
No, what spells did you have memorized for today?
Well, that's definitely one of them. I get 3. I get 3 spells per day. So.
Oh, we leveled up, and I forgot to tell you how many spells you get per day memorized. It's a little bit more now. It is...
And you also didn't give me any new spells.
Ooh, I have been a terrible DM.
I know. I could use some stuff right now. Give me some.
You have 3. Yeah, you still have 3 first level spells.
Okay.
Yeah. So the captain eventually takes it up on himself to investigate this.
Do you have a mask of some sort?
He shakes his head.
Hold your breath wisely.
Okay. He looks around for some sort of melee weapon. Finds a hammer nearby, picks it up, and walks into the room.
I look at the crew in disgust, and I'm like, "Your captain, really? Not a single one of you?"
I didn't see you volunteer.
Because I'm the only one who's going to be able to fight it if it comes out. And
They give you an equal look of disgust at your hypocrisy. The captain goes in, looks about the room, calls back out. "Nothing amiss in here. What's this on the ground?" He goes down on the ground, seems to be looking at something, then just kind of slumps over and shifts his position a little bit.
At this point, I start to go in because it's obvious that he grabbed an object, and I look to see.
Whoa, Kess, what are you doing? Look at me.
I look
say.
back at him.
All right. I'm not sure he picked up an object, maybe just looking at something caused him to fall asleep.
I'm pretty sure he picked it up.
Well, we're going to need your magical ability.
Okay, fine. I won't.
Hey, look, we don't need him or any of them to get to Yatel. We have enough people here that we can limp there. Why don't we just board up this area, not let anyone in or out, and just, you know.
That sounds like a good plan. I kind of take my I can't remember the name of my one. I take my glaive and I kind of put it as diagonally as possible so that no one can't get past, and then I try to block also.
Yeah, they start helping to move boxes and crates and cargo to block up this corridor.
And I call in. Hey, I know you're in there. Give yourself up. I know you haven't actually done any harm to anybody, so we can basically call the whole thing good. Or we're gonna land in the port. We get some magical guys to come down here, take a look at you, and it'll be more problematic for all of us. All right, we're boarding you up.
Okay.
Enjoy.
You guys proceed to board up the room as everyone scampers back to their previous duties. Now, you've lost the captain and 3 sailors. The ship can still sail. The captain had left with a kind of a small-ish crew, so you are undermanned now. You're going to have trouble getting to Yatel. You're going to have to move at a slower speed so that you don't overshoot or undershoot anything. It's going to take you a little bit longer to get there with your slightly smaller crew size. So let's keep going. You see the lights of Yatel, or a lighthouse at Yatel, way off in the distance after the sun sets. You guys are still out at sea. The crew says without the captain around, they don't feel comfortable sailing that close to shore this late at night. There's problems, with reefs, rocks, and that sort of thing. And the captain's really the navigator of the group, and they're going to wait till daylight before they approach the city and make the dock. So you guys are going to all have to spend another night out here on the ship.
Okay. Tess, it sounds to me like detect magic is going to be our most useful weapon against this perpetrator. So make sure you've got all of those tomorrow, perhaps.
Yes, and I still have some for tonight, so that's okay.
Oh, before we head off to sleep then, why don't you check out this boarded area? See if you can still spot any magic.
I detect magic again.
Okay. Sure enough, that aura signature is still there. Still waiting.
Still really strong.
Hasn't moved. Yeah.
So it must have moved over here with the crew. I wonder if it's invisible. Because I didn't detect this before on the other ship. This doesn't make any sense.
Do you have a idea of where exactly it is? Is it right behind a wall?
It's like in the room on the left side.
Since it's new time of detecting magic, can I roll to see?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
Yes, it is an enchantment aura.
Okay. So.
At least that's the aura on the people. The other figure is a different aura. The other figure is what do we call it? An alteration aura.
What's that?
It's a different school of magic. It's actually the largest school of magic. I wouldn't say most things, but like 30 or 40% of all spells are alteration spells. So it's a really common school of magic. It has to do with shifting the way that things are, like, allowing you to climb walls or giving you wings or anything like that would be an alteration spell.
So it's a shapeshifter, possibly.
A shapeshifter would fall under that category too, yeah.
Okay. So it's a different magic from the others.
Yeah.
Weird. But they could have still used the magic that the enchantment is.
Right.
Okay.
Why don't we take our break, and when we come back, we'll see what happens. See you guys on the other side.